Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Wednesday to everybody. This is sort of an impromptu stream here. It probably won't be an hour long. It might be 30 minutes or maybe 45 minutes, depending on when Mrs. Pete gets home. She's late getting home from work. And so I've been following this Kelly Bryant thing all day, arguing with people on social media, listening to the radio, listening to Paul Feinbaum, listening to everybody in the country weigh in on this thing, and it is astonishing to me. Astonishing to me. The misinformation that these so-called professional media outlets are disseminating to people. The information that they're giving to people is completely false and inaccurate, and I don't even know where to begin. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to... First of all, let me see who's in here real quick. I want to thank everybody for watching, checking in with me without notice. Good afternoon, Tiger Nation. Billy Dawson. Chad Mulligan says, what's it like to have only one quarterback? It's a bad deal. I'll get into that in a second. A Pac Fan 12. Good afternoon, sir. DeGoat Watson. How you doing? Comic Dude 45. Clemson Jacob. Ronaldo Gonzalez. Good afternoon, sir. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Otherwise, you would not be here. Sorry, the kids. Brett Legg, good afternoon, sir. All right, so let's just start with some of the misinformation that's being spread around. Again, like I said, throughout the so-called professional media, and of course, the internet trolls who clearly started watching Clemson football about 3 weeks ago. Otherwise, I wouldn't be saying the crazy crap that they're saying. So I posted the video earlier today. Literally, I was driving in my car, heard right when it broke on ESPN that Kelly Bryant said he's going to transfer. And immediately, you start hearing people say things that just aren't true. First of all, we'll go ahead and start with the comparison from Kelly Bryant to Jalen Hurts from Alabama. I actually had people coming on my Twitter saying, "Oh, Jalen Hurts is a real man. He stays with his team. Kelly Bryant's a quitter." I don't know. I listened to Uncle Lou's show earlier, and Uncle Lou gave a good take on it. I will say that. But I was in the comment section. I was working, but I was skimming through the comment section as much as I could. And what I saw people saying is the Jalen Hurts and Kelly Bryant comparison, and there is no comparison. Let me explain this for anybody who doesn't know, who doesn't follow Clemson football. I'm not saying that a lot of you guys in the chat room here, especially the Clemson fans, that you guys probably already know this. So Jalen Hurts has 2 years of eligibility left if he's redshirted this year. Now he probably isn't going to be redshirted. He's staying with the team. He'll probably play cleanup time again this week, and he'll burn his red shirt for this year. Jalen Hurts still has 1 more year of eligibility left to go play wherever he wants if he's going to transfer at the end of this year, which I think he will, because Tua's not going, unless something crazy happens, unless Tua, God forbid, gets hurt, a major injury, where Jalen Hurts will be the guy after that. But Jalen Hurts can transfer at the end of this year and still go somewhere else and play for a year. Kelly Bryant can't. If Kelly Bryant takes one single snap this year, from here on forward, his college career is over. He's already played 4 years. So that will lead me into my next point here. The Dabo Swinney criticism. The Dabo Swinney criticism not only comes from all kinds of crazy areas, like he's a racist, which I'm not going to even get in. I really, honestly will not even entertain that notion. I won't even get into it because it's so ignorant that I literally will not spend 2 minutes out of my life trying to combat morons that say that. But the Dabo Swinney criticism that he made the wrong decision for the team. So what people are really saying is, yes, Trevor Lawrence might be a better quarterback, which he might not be. He is. There's a reason that Kelly Bryant is not on anybody in the NFL's draft board as a senior in college, and Trevor Lawrence is on every single draft board in the NFL for 4 years from now. It's because Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback. I'm sorry. He just is. The same way that Deshaun Watson was a better quarterback his freshman year than Cole Stout was when he was a senior. So people are saying, in one breath, Dabo should have not made this decision and got Kelly Bryant to transfer because we may need him this year. And then in the next breath, they say that Dabo Swinney doesn't care about Kelly Bryant. Well, let me tell you something. If Dabo Swinney only cared about Dabo Swinney and winning, he would have named Kelly Bryant the starter for Syracuse. And as soon as he took that first snap, Kelly Bryant's college career was over after this year. Over. One snap against Syracuse. Instead, he did the right thing, in my mind, and said, Kelly Bryant's now played 4 games. But this new rule, if I let him know now, instead of 2 weeks from now, or 1/2 from now, whenever that might be, that he is not any longer the starting quarterback, this at least gives the kid a chance to make a decision for himself, which is what it really all comes down to, right? This is Kelly Bryant's decision to do this. This is not, nobody asked Kelly Bryant to transfer. He still would have played a lot of time. Kelly Bryant made this decision for himself. And if that's what Kelly Bryant thinks is what's right for Kelly Bryant, more power to him. And I don't think there's a single Clemson fan out there that's not rooting for Kelly Bryant to succeed wherever he goes, including myself. But what Dabo Swinney did was the right thing, despite the fact that it may hurt Clemson's team this year. If something happens to Trevor, obviously our next best guy is, the next guy on the depth chart is Chase Bryce, who I think is a good player. He's a highly rated 4-star quarterback out of the state of Georgia. He's not Kelly Bryant or Trevor Lawrence, but that's besides the point. He did the right thing for Kelly Bryant. And then, much to my disappointment, Kelly Bryant comes out and says it's a slap in the face. He didn't get a fair shot. Let me tell you how fair the shot for Kelly Bryant was. In reality, the place where I live, Kelly Bryant last year, yes, he sat on the bench behind Deshaun Watson for 2 years because Deshaun Watson was the best quarterback in the country, and nobody can take that away from him or Kelly Bryant. That wasn't Kelly Bryant's fault that he was on the team that had the best quarterback in the country for 2 years. But then Clemson recruits the #1 overall quarterback recruit in the country. Does that sound familiar to you people? A lot like Trevor Lawrence. That year, last year, Clemson signed the #1 quarterback recruit in Hunter Johnson out of Indiana. Hunter Johnson comes in there. This is after Deshaun has just left, and we're off of a national title win. They compete for the job. Kelly Bryant wins the job. Dabo Swinney and the rest of the offensive staff says, yeah, we got this, hot shot 5-star freshman quarterback that came in here as a freshman, but Kelly Bryant's won the job in practice and on the field. He's a better player. Kelly Bryant leads us to an amazing season and a rebuild year all the way to the college football playoff, and everybody loves him, including myself. But my point is, he did not play that highly touted 5-star quarterback ahead of Kelly Bryant because Kelly Bryant was the better player last year. As a result, at the end of last year, before this year starts, Hunter Johnson transfers to Northwestern, and so does Zarek Cooper transfers to I don't even know where. It doesn't matter. And Kelly Bryant has a decision to make. He knows there's another 5-star quarterback, the #1 recruit in the country, or #2, depending on who you ask, doesn't matter, is coming in, and I'm going to have to compete for this job again this year. He decides to stay. Nobody made him stay. Nobody said, hey, Kelly Bryant, and put a gun to his head and say, Kelly Bryant, you are staying. You have to stay, even though Trevor Lawrence is coming in. He made the decision on his own that he thought he could win the job, just like he did the year before with Hunter Johnson. And he competed for the job in practice and through the first 4 games of the year. And he lost. That's what everybody is missing in this whole conversation. He lost the starting job. And then people say, Kelly Bryant didn't do anything to lose the job. You're right. He did not do anything to lose the job. As a matter of fact, Dabo Swinney in his press conference yesterday said as much. He said exactly those words. Kelly Bryant did not do anything to lose the job. Trevor Lawrence did everything to win the job. What? I've got news for Kelly Bryant and people like him and people who are saying that this is a bad decision. And it's not fair. Not fair. That's almost laughable fair. Nothing's fair in life. Kelly Bryant's days of playing football are going to be over, whether it's a year from now or if he makes it in the NFL somehow, which I don't think he's going to do that, at least not as a quarterback. Sooner than later, Kelly Bryant's football playing career will be over, and he will have to enter the corporate world or maybe be a business owner himself, where he has to make tough decisions on who to promote and not to promote based on who's doing the best job. Is Kelly Bryant going to work at some company for 10 years in the corporate world and somebody comes in that's better at his job than him and he's going to go to his employer and say, that's not fair. I've been here. I've been working here longer than this guy who can do my job better than me. You know what that employer is going to say? See ya, Kelly Bryant. Later, go transfer to another company. We don't care what you think. That's called real life, folks. So anybody who's going to sit on their high horse and cry for Kelly Bryant for making his own decisions throughout the year, throughout his collegiate career at Clemson, number one decision being to stay this year when he could have transferred. And then when Dabo Swinney gives him the olive branch and says, hey, I'm going to give you the out right now. You're not starting anymore. This guy's better than you. We all know it. Everybody on the team knows it. All the fans know it. And I'm doing you the favor of letting you not lose your red shirt this year so that you actually can play again next year somewhere or here or wherever you wish to play. And then he goes out and says it's a slap in the face. Then he goes out and says that he wasn't given a fair shot. You've got to be freaking kidding me. What are you guys talking about in the comment section? You guys got a lot of comments here. Yeah, I just don't. I'm not like pissed off because I'm not gonna get pissed off. People may think I'm getting pissed off. I'm not getting pissed off about college football. Trust me, I got more important things in life than to actually get mad about college football. But I get annoyed. I get annoyed with stupidity. I just do. And misinformation too. And to Goat Watson, I disagree, sir. He says we don't win the Texas A&M game without Kelly Bryant. How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? How can you prove what Trevor Lawrence did or did not do while he was standing on the sideline of that Texas A&M game? It just is what it is. Anybody who's going to sit here and tell me that Kelly Bryant is as good a quarterback as Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I don't know what you've been watching for the past 4 weeks. I just don't know. What have you been watching? The offense looks 50 times better when Trevor Lawrence is in the game. The defenses respect his ability to pass the ball. They don't load the box. So then we hand it off to one of our stud running backs, Travis Etienne, Adam Choice, Tavion Feaster, and even the new guy. And they just chew the ground up. And then they have to start to respect the run. And Lawrence just throws darts down the field. And not only that, there's not a single NFL scout in America looking at Kelly Bryant to come take over their NFL team as their starting quarterback. Not one. Not a single one. Every single team in the NFL is drooling over Trevor Lawrence right now. So it's not a question of who's a better quarterback. We already know the answer to that. If you want to give somebody a lifetime achievement award for being on the team for 4 years, good for you. I don't. I want to actually try to compete with Alabama and Ohio State and Oklahoma and Georgia this year, and maybe actually make it to the national championship and have a chance to win it. That's what I want to do. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you want to go give Kelly Bryant a Lifetime Achievement Award and lose in the first round of the playoffs like we did last year, then good for you. We all have different goals in life, don't we? Jim Harbaugh, are you deleting your own comments, sir? What's going on here? Nothing I love more than arguing with anybody named Jim Harbaugh. So I wish he was timed out. I can't tell. I don't even know. I'm seeing some people saying they agree with me, some people saying they disagree with me. And listen, DeGoat Watson, man, I love you, dude. Listen, you're entitled to your own opinion, the way I am. The only difference is I have a microphone and a webcam and a YouTube channel. I can get on here and scream till I'm blue in the face about whatever I want. I completely agree that losing Kelly Bryant is not a good thing. It's not, because now we lost the second best quarterback on our team. And he can win us games. He can win us just about every game we want to, except for probably the big one, which is my thing. But nobody made him leave. He made the decision on his own. All we can do as Clemson fans is say, hey, Kelly Bryant, thank you for everything you did. Thank you for being an awesome player. Thank you for taking us to the playoff last year when nobody gave us a shot, including myself, to get there because of what we lost the year before. And good luck where you go, sir. I'm not going to sit around and cry in my cereal about Kelly Bryant transferring. I'm just not going to do it. Not when we have Trevor Lawrence at the helm. Now, if Lawrence gets hurt, everybody say, if this, if that. Well, you can't. Listen, anybody can get hurt on any given play at any given week, right? Tua could go out there and twist his ankle or tear his ACL next week. God forbid that doesn't happen. It could happen, though. How many teams have two quarterbacks that can win games? Not very many. Alabama's in the fortunate position right now that they can say that because they still have Jalen Hurts there, and Jalen Hurts is probably the best backup quarterback in America right now. What happens if Drew Lock gets hurt? What happens if Jake Bentley gets hurt? Right? What happens if Kyler Murray at Oklahoma gets hurt? What happens if Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State gets hurt? Their team is probably going to suck, or at least take a step back if that happens. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. That's just the way it goes. So anyway, yeah, I'm more disappointed really with Kelly Bryant's comments. What he said, and I know that he's I don't know how old he is, 21, 22-year-old kid. He's emotional. He feels like he's been betrayed for some reason. And like I said before, he can feel like he's being betrayed all he wants to. But it's time. Once you're 21, 22 years old and you're leaving college, you have a degree. It's time to grow up now and accept that life isn't fair, and that no matter who you work for, if there's somebody that does your job better than you, they're going to get the job over you. Period. It's a wake-up call for him. And God bless the fact that we have somebody like Dabo Swinney. And you guys can come on here and I know there's a lot of Dabo Swinney haters out there. I've been dealing with you guys all day on Twitter, calling him a racist and all kinds of other crazy nonsense. Meanwhile, you guys would give your left nut to have him as your coach. Half of you would. And you say that you wouldn't. And that's the other thing. Now I'm seeing all these other teams out there, schools, they have been telling me for the past 18 months that Kelly Bryant's a trash quarterback. They all want him on their team now. Isn't that funny? Isn't that ironic even? Anyways. We all know Clemson's going with Lawrence. I thought it was cool to dabble. Exactly. SEC dog, that's the whole point that everybody's missing. They're comparing it to Jalen Hurts, even though Jalen Hurts has another year of eligibility left after this year, even if he's not redshirted. Bryant doesn't. I mean, I don't blame Bryant for what he's doing, actually. I really don't. I mean, I have zero ill feelings against Kelly Bryant for transferring. I probably would do the same thing, even though I think that really Kelly Bryant and Jalen Hurts kind of have the same sort of delusion that they're somehow going to become NFL quarterbacks. And that's the reason they're trying to prolong their college career. Listen, Jalen Hurts is not getting drafted as a quarterback, and most likely Kelly Bryant isn't either. That's just the way it is. And that's the reality that's going to slap them in the face eventually after this year or next year or whenever they enter the draft. They both could probably play in the NFL at different positions. But the difference is Trevor Lawrence is an actual NFL quarterback. Don't keep your best players on the bench. That's not a good winning formula. Okay? And thank God we have a coach that actually knows how to use the winning formula. He did not want to keep. He actually came out before the season started. I actually did a video on this before the season started when they, during the spring practice. Dabo Swinney made a statement to the media, which I criticized him for at the time. The statement that he made was, I am actually pulling for Kelly Bryant to win this job. He actually came out on the side of Kelly Bryant while the competition was going on, saying, I hope that Kelly Bryant wins the job. I want Kelly Bryant to be the starting quarterback for his senior year and lead us to a title. That's what I want. I've never heard any other coach say that, ever. But he got beat out. Maybe it wasn't by a mile, but it was at least by a half a mile. And anybody with two pairs of eyeballs that have seen more than 4 quarters of football can tell you which one's a better quarterback. Uncle Lou, good afternoon, sir. He says the sky is falling. Quite the opposite, sir. The sky is definitely not falling in Clemson. I'll tell you what is happening is there seems to be a volcano that went off, and there's a major meltdown between half of the Clemson fan base because they act like they lost their grandmother or something because Kelly Bryant decides to transfer. It's unbelievable. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen is 5 or 6, 7 weeks. How many weeks are left in the college football season? We're in week 5, and there's 13 weeks for the bye week. So the regular season is going to last about another 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I can't even do math. 8 weeks. And what we're going to see, everyone will calm down. Everyone will calm down once they realize that Trevor Lawrence is better than Kelly Bryant. That's already evident to people like me who actually watch football. But for all the other people out there who don't watch football, apparently, they'll finally see why the switch was made. And, barring some sort of injury, everyone will forget about this and not care any longer. But as for now, some of these people need to be on suicide watch with the meltdowns I'm seeing. Yeah. So. Oh, Jazzy TV in the house. Good afternoon, sir. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Otherwise, you would not be here. He says, congrats to your Panthers for taking us down. Much respect. Yeah, that was actually a really good game. I mean, obviously, I'm glad my Panthers won, but that was a good game. The Cincinnati and Carolina game from last weekend. SEC Football Tube says South Carolina or Kentucky. Who wins? I think Kentucky by 7. That's a really hard game to pick. I mean, South Carolina has been a better team for the past 4 years than Kentucky, but still can't find a way to beat them. Kentucky's probably got the hottest start they've had in a decade or more. I don't know. You ask a Kentucky fan if you can meet one or find one somewhere. I'm sure they're all out now. The game is in Kentucky. Here's the only thing I worry about with Kentucky. I think Kentucky has obviously they have a good shot to win the game. Hell, they won for the last 4 of them, and they're better this year than they have been in the last 4. So, I mean, everyone's saying that Kentucky should win the game. The only thing I worry about with Kentucky is the whole Nick Saban rat poison theory, is that they start believing their own hype. They start thinking that they're better than South Carolina and go out there and lay an egg. We see that happen all the time. It happens every weekend, actually, especially with teams that aren't historically good. They have a good little run. They start getting big heads, and then they just fall completely off the map. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen with Kentucky or not. He said Kentucky by 7. I don't know. I guess I'm picking Kentucky because I think that they're hot, and the South Carolina they seem to crap the bed in these type of situations, and it's in Kentucky. So I'll say Kentucky by 3. I don't know. I mean, a close game. Prince 6'1" says they both lose. Oh my God. Melon Matt says, "Who the hell is Chase Bryce?" Well, he was the third string quarterback for Clemson. He was a highly rated 4-star recruit out of the state of Georgia. He was redshirted last year, and obviously he's the third string this year. He's actually a pretty good player, but Clemson's has been basically a victim of greatness the past few years at the quarterback position. They've had more good quarterbacks than they can play. I mean, you can only play one at a time, right? Or two, like they've been doing this year, which is obviously a headache and causes controversy, which I've been saying from the beginning. But we've had 3 quarterbacks transfer this year. So we had Zarek Cooper transfer, we had Hunter Johnson transfer, and we had now Kelly Bryant transfer, all in 1 year. And that's just a testament to how good Trevor Lawrence is. All these guys, they're not stupid. They see him in practice. They watch film on him, and they're looking at it going, this guy is better than me. I'm not starting here. I'm leaving. And God bless him. But just because you haven't heard of Chase Bryce, just because he's the third string quarterback does not mean he's not good. We don't know what he is because he hasn't really played any meaningful snaps in meaningful games. But God forbid we have to find out what he really is capable of if something happens to Trevor. Paul Jameson says, it's 7:40 p.m. Why don't you take your glasses off, pal? If I took my glasses off, I would see into your soul, and trust me, you don't want that. Hey, what's up? Ryan Stanfield's in the house. Ryan, man. Ryan, hey, Ryan, you don't have a lot of extra time on your hands, do you now? I told you, sir. Ryan pops in every once in a while. Ryan used to be a staple on the Pigskin Pete show and other YouTube. He calls himself the 5-star caller for Uncle Lou. He reminds me of that all the time. And that's great for him. But he's kind of disappeared since he's had that kid, hadn't he? He's knee deep in baby doo-doo. I know all about that, trust me. Anyway, what's up, Ryan, man? I hope you're doing well. I hope Grayson's doing well too, sir. All right. Hey, Catholic Church is right. Yeah, somebody else took care of it. Hey, let me give you a piece of advice, because I've been letting you come on here for the past 3 weeks straight, and I haven't said a single thing. I've let you sit there and ramble your bull crap over and over again. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this now. It's okay to troll if you want to troll, but if you can't come up with something of some sort of substance to add to the conversation instead of just getting on here talking about crazy stuff, just stop watching. Go away. Or make 15 fake accounts and keep getting them all banned too, if you want to. That's fine with me as well. But whatever you do, try to find some a semblance of having a life between whatever you do during the day and when you troll me on YouTube. It's getting old. Marco Polo, good afternoon, sir. How you doing? All right, guys. Like I said, this wasn't going to be a long stream. I vented. If anybody came in late, I highly recommend that you go back and watch the first 10 or 15 minutes of the stream when I gave you my real thoughts, uninterrupted and uncut. What's up, Blake Ellis? I'm apologizing to all these people that are just now getting in here, and I'm leaving. This was, like I said, this wasn't meant to be a stream. I've got obligations even. So anyway, thanks guys for stopping in. If you missed the majority of the stream, like I said, I recommend you go back and watch it. Like, subscribe, comment, tell everybody about it. I will be on tomorrow at my normal time at 4 p.m. And then, of course, Saturday night, I will be really looking forward to doing this. The Penn State and Ohio State game, I'll be doing a live play-by-play and reaction for that. I'm sure Paul Jameson will probably be doing the same. And so good luck to him also. That's it. Go Tigers. Kelly Bryant, we love you, man. Don't cry about it. All right, guys. Pigskin Pete, checking out.